Okay, so today we're going to start a new ethical theory, utilitarianism. And I just want to give you a kind of brief introduction to what it is today. So, a lot just appeared on your screen. Apologies about that. Let's just start with the basic idea. The basic idea is this. What we want to do in utilitarianism is maximize happiness. So, utilitarianism comes from this standpoint. It says, look, there's one thing that humans care about more than anything else, and that is happiness. And so, the right thing to do, the morally obligatory thing to do, is to make as much happiness as is possible. But what do utilitarians mean by happiness? Let's go through the first of our many, many definitions. Happiness, they define as this. They define it as pleasure. Minus pain. So, for utilitarians, happiness simply is pleasure. In that way, it is a fact in the world. It is a realist theory. Morality is a fact because happiness exists. And according to utilitarianism, happiness literally is the good. They are identical. Now, I should point this out, there are versions of utilitarianism called non-hedonic utilitarianism that don't think that happiness is the ultimate end, but we're not going to be considering them right now. We're looking at the standard form of utilitarianism that says that happiness is the good, and therefore it's a realist theory because it believes that happiness is a fact in the world, as I hope do we all, and because happiness is good, morality is a fact in the world. It's naturalist too because remember, naturalism is the idea that the moral facts are natural. So moral facts are natural properties. This is as opposed to kind of non-naturalism, which is an idea like God tells you what to do, for instance. There, moral facts are non-natural because they're divine commands. Whereas a naturalist theory thinks that these moral facts are natural, and of course, the moral fact here, of course, is happiness. And happiness is a naturally occurring thing. It's also consequentialist, and this is where we get into kind of the nitty-gritty of it all, the really important stuff. I just want to differentiate between kind of three different theories here in terms of ethics generally. One says that the good and bad is really about character. This is sometimes called virtue theory. Ethics, so virtue ethicists believe, is all about character, whereas others think it's about act. These are deontological theories. So deontological theories are theories like Kantian ethics that say that the thing that makes something good or bad is whether the act itself is actually good or bad. Consequentialist theories, on the other hand, things like utilitarianism, I'll write util for short, say that the thing that makes the act good or bad is not the act itself or the motivations, but rather what happens as a result. So utilitarianism is consequentialist because it cares about the result. The result of an action makes it good or bad. So that's the thing that determines its moral worth. What kind of thing do you bring about? Do you bring about more pleasure or more pain? It's also egalitarian, which means that it cares about everybody equally. So when we're saying that, the key idea here is to maximize happiness, that maximizing is for everybody overall. So it's egalitarian because it cares about everybody equally. That means you don't give up on yourself. You matter as much as the next person. So you still matter, but no more than anybody else. The core of utilitarianism is this principle. It is the principle of utility. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's this, that we need to maximize net benefit. Let's go through each of those. The first one there is benefit. Typically, benefit is defined as happiness. It is the thing towards which we all aim. Now, it doesn't have to be. That's where you have non-hedonic systems of utilitarianism. But generally speaking, it's about maximizing net benefit, which is happiness. The next part, of course, is net here. I know I'm going backwards because I think I need to in order to explain it properly. Net is all benefit, so in this case, happiness, so positive things, minus deficit, minus pain in this example. And the result of that is the net. Finally, we have maximize. What do we actually mean by the word maximize? Well, what we mean by that is bring about as much benefit or happiness as possible. Now remember, this is a normative theory, so it's not about giving you specific commands in its core form. It's rather about working out a rule. This is their rule for working out what you should do. So every time you act, say utilitarians, what you need to do is you need to work out which action will create the most amount of happiness minus pain. Whichever one creates kind of the best net benefit is the action that you ought to perform. I think it's best maybe if I give you an example. Let's apply this and we'll see exactly how it works. I'm gonna give you a really famous example from the 20th century. This is the trolley problem. The trolley problem is this: you are here. This is you, looking pretty unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Well, because you see this runaway train about to kill 5 people. But you have a switch. You could switch the track and send it down here, and although it's a positive act, you will then only kill 1 person. So what do? Do you kill, do you allow 5 to die? Or kill 1? Well, what does utilitarianism say here? Can you work it out? It says this. Look, if I do this calculation and I allow it to continue, let's call this kind of option 1 here. So option 1, oh, you can't see that at all. Option 1 is to go along here. That means that there are 5 dead and 1 alive. Now, if we're thinking about net benefit, that's a pain level of 5 and a pleasure level of 1. One person's really happy to be alive. Can't believe their luck. The alternative, of course, is this. This is kind of option 2. And option 2 says, well, we move it along. We change the track and we send the train along here. We kill 1, this guy who was very happy a minute ago, and we allow 5 to live. Now, the net benefit there is +4. So what does utilitarianism say? Well, you send it along option 2, because that is 5 minus 1, which is a net benefit of 4. Maths. About as complicated maths as I can handle, but maths! Now, the point of all of this is really simple. Utilitarianism offers us an almost scientific way of working out the best answer. In this case, killing 1 to save 5 with a net benefit of 4, rather than killing 5 to save 1 with a net deficit of -4. The principle of utility. It's all about maximizing happiness.